As part of a sign-and-trade deal that sent longtime Miami Heat sharpshooter Duncan Robinson to the Detroit Pistons, the Heat acquired forward Simone Fontecchio. Fontecchio, a native of Italy, was a rotation player in the regular season for a Pistons team that surprised a lot of people and qualified for the 2025 NBA playoffs. In 75 games played with Detroit and 0 starts last season, he averaged 5.9 points and 2.9 rebounds per game, while shooting 33.5% from three-point range. In the 2023-24 season, he shot an impressive 40.1% from long range. But his future with Miami is now in question, as there seems to be a real chance that the Heat will part ways with him before he even makes his debut with the team. Nico Yenebarak wrote on X on Tuesday that the Heat are considering waiving Fontecchio so they can avoid the luxury tax. Fontecchio is set to make around $8.3 million with Miami in the coming season. Simone Fontecchio may be waived by the Miami Heat, Yenebarak wrote on X, according to a translation. The Heat are considering waiving the player to avoid the luxury tax. Fenerbahce is closely monitoring the situation of the Italian star, whose potential return to Europe is emerging. 5 Reasons Sports' Ethan J. Skolnick provided a fresh report on Fontecchio's future in Miami as well. I mentioned this as a possibility they may consider the day they acquired him, Skolnick wrote via Discord, referencing the possibility of Fontecchio being waived. No rush to do it now. Haven't heard that's happening yet. Fontecchio has played for 2 teams, the Pistons and Utah Jazz, ever since he kicked off his NBA career in the 2022-23 campaign, and he's proven to be an effective role player. He's averaged 7.6 points per game for his career through 3 seasons and averaged double digits in points for the first time as an NBA player in the 2023-24 season. Although Fontecchio is an NBA-caliber player, Miami's success this coming season may not hinge on whether or not he's on the team, so it makes sense that the Heat are considering waiving him to save some money, especially in today's NBA where teams are incentivized for penny pinching. If Skolnick's comments are any indication, fans of the Heat maybe shouldn't expect Miami to come to a decision about Fontecchio in the immediate future, but it would be wise to keep an eye out for him in rumors nonetheless. Whether or not he will still be with the team to start the campaign remains to be seen. With one social media post, Jimmy Butler delivered another unnecessary gut punch to Miami Heat fans. Jimmy shared a fan art picture on Instagram that featured himself in a Golden State Warriors uniform with Heat president Pat Riley looking disappointed off to the side. Even though the post seems innocent enough, with Jimmy highlighting how much he loves his fans in the caption, it's another unfortunate reminder of how the Heat may have completely mismanaged the Jimmy situation. The Heat are still searching for how to replace Jimmy Butler. It's been almost 6 months since the Heat officially traded Jimmy to the Warriors, but in many ways, the Heat are still trying to replace his presence both on and off the floor. As a leader in the community and the locker room, the Heat has a huge void that was left by Jimmy. On the court, Jimmy was a completely different type of impact player from Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro. Even though both players have their own star ceilings, there's an element that Jimmy brought to the Heat that hasn't been successfully replicated. I don't even know if I would say the Heat necessarily made the wrong decision to part ways with Jimmy, but there's no question they went about it the wrong way, and the franchise has struggled to replace him. It wasn't necessarily about what the Heat did, it's more about how they went about it. The Heat must learn from the Jimmy experience. After going through all of that over the last year, it will be interesting to see if the Heat's front office learned anything from it. With a similar decision to make regarding Tyler Herro, you can't help but wonder how the Heat is going to approach that entire situation. This is not to say that Herro would have the same reaction if he isn't extended before the start of the 2025-26 NBA season, but there are a lot of similarities between the two situations. Jimmy wanted a max extension, and the Heat didn't believe he was worth it, and they wanted him to prove it with a strong contract year. Similarly, Herro is going to demand a max extension, and there's a chance the Heat doesn't believe he's worth it. They may also want him to play out this year before they negotiate a new extension. It's unlikely that Herro is going to go down the same path as Jimmy, but this is a good litmus test to see if the Heat did learn anything from their past mistakes. And as far as Jimmy is concerned, he's not going to let them forget how they fumbled it all. His latest social media post is a passive way of reminding fans that it's been a rather quiet summer for the Miami Heat, especially in terms of new additions to the roster. After missing out on Kevin Durant to begin the summer, Miami has rarely been mentioned in trade rumors. Yet, if Pat Riley is still looking for ways to improve the current roster, Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report has proposed a three-team trade that could do just that. The trade proposal looks like this. Boston Celtics receive Walker Kessler and a $27.7 million traded player exception. Utah Jazz receive Terry Rozier, Jamie Jaquez Jr., Neemias Quetta, a 2026 first-round draft pick, Celtics, a 2026 second-round draft pick, Celtics, a 2029 protected first-round draft pick, Heat, $5.5 million in cash from Boston, and a $4.9 million traded player exception for Kessler. Miami Heat receive Anfernee Simmons, John Tunge, draft rights, and a $3.9 million traded player exception. The Heat recently acquired Norman Powell from the Clippers, so why would the team covet Simmons? Pincus wrote. Powell, 32, will help, but he's in the last year of his contract and may not be a long-term fixture for the Heat. Simmons, 26, is younger and more capable as a lead ball-handling guard. Coach Erik Spoelstra can pair Harrow with Simmons, bringing Powell off the bench in a familiar sixth-man role. Along with prospective starting forward Andrew Wiggins, the rest of the rotation needs to support the backcourt defensively. Simmons would be a strong long-term addition to Miami's roster. Nevertheless, he would certainly need to improve his defensive production if he wanted to impress Erik Spoelstra. Fortunately for Simmons, Miami has a stellar track record when it comes to player development. Heat could target Precious Achiuwa in free agency. In a July 29th article for Clutch Points, Brett Siegel predicted that Riley could acquire Precious Achiuwa via free agency. Miami is in need of some additional frontcourt depth. Currently, the big man rotation is set to feature Bam Adebayo and Kel'el Ware. An extra body is certainly a necessity. One team that could still use some frontcourt help this offseason is the Miami Heat, Siegel wrote. Not only does this fit make sense because Achiuwa can play behind Bam Adebayo and improve his all-around game, but the former Knicks big man recently purchased a two-bedroom condo in South Beach. Miami has an open roster spot, and they can sign Achiuwa without crossing their first apron hard cap. Prediction: Precious Achiuwa stays in Eastern Conference, joins Heat frontcourt behind Bam Adebayo. Achiuwa wouldn't be a prize addition for Miami. He would, however, be a perfect fit for the second unit. He is, after all, a solid rebounder and screener as well as being a versatile defender in the front court. Heat could be done making trades this summer. Another reason why Achiuwa may be a more logical target for the Heat is that they may be done working on the trade market. In a recent episode of the Zaslow Show 2.0, NBA cap expert Bobby Marks shared his belief that the franchise will stand pat until next summer. I mean, listen, we're going to see probably within the next couple of days, Beal become available in free agency, Marks said. I think the Norman Powell move eliminates that as far as what they need. They're a little bit below the first apron, so they can go out and sign a minimum guy if they want to do that. But I'm not anticipating another big move.